Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. You know, every so often a story breaks that feels less like a news report and more like a seismic tremor, shaking the foundations of what we thought we knew. Today we're diving deep into one of those stories. The internet is absolutely on fire, and for good reason. The recently unsealed Jeffrey Epstein documents. And right at the heart of this firestorm is a name that still commands global attention, a former president of the United States, Bill Clinton. Now, let's be honest, that headline we're running with, Bombshell, Bill Clinton Epstein files exposed, new documents could end his career. It's designed to grab your attention, because this story, whether you like Bill Clinton or not, is explosive. It is a bombshell. And yes, for some, the mere association could very well be seen as career-ending, or at least reputation-shattering, even for someone whose time in the Oval Office is long past. But here's the critical part, and stick with me, because this is where the truth matters most. What do these new court filings actually reveal? Are we talking about smoking guns or renewed questions about judgment and association? That's what we're going to dissect meticulously today. No hype for hype's sake, just the facts as they emerge from these deeply disturbing papers. For years, the name Jeffrey Epstein has been synonymous with unimaginable depravity, a global network of abuse, and a client list that has fueled endless speculation. And for just as long, whispers and allegations have swirled around powerful figures, including former President Bill Clinton. What we're talking about today isn't just a rumor anymore. These are official court documents, unsealed as part of a 2015 defamation lawsuit against Epstein's associate Ghislaine Maxwell. These aren't leaks. This is public record now. And the details are uncomfortable, to say the least. The most direct new information, the piece that has truly set the internet ablaze, comes from the testimony of an accuser named Johanna Sjoberg. Imagine this, a sworn deposition, under oath. Sjoberg, recounting an incident, stated that Epstein once claimed, and I'm quoting here, "Clinton likes them young." Now let's pause. This is a chilling statement, attributed to Epstein by an accuser. It is not an accusation by Sjoberg against Clinton, nor is it a documented fact of Clinton's behavior. But it is a direct quote now officially unsealed in a legal document. And the weight of those words, regardless of their source within the testimony, is immense. It immediately casts a dark shadow and demands answers about context and truth. What did Epstein mean? Why would he say that? These are the kinds of questions that naturally arise, and frankly, should arise, when such disturbing claims become public record. But that's not all. The documents also bring renewed focus to Bill Clinton's confirmed association with Epstein, particularly his extensive travel on Epstein's infamous private jet, notoriously dubbed the Lolita Express. We're talking multiple flights between 2001 and 2003. Now, Clinton's representatives have long maintained these were for legitimate, charitable purposes, often connected to the Clinton Foundation, and the documents themselves don't contradict that stated purpose. However, the sheer volume of travel and the nature of the company he was keeping, a convicted sex offender, raises significant questions of judgment, even if no criminal wrongdoing is alleged on Clinton's part in these specific files. Think about it. A former president of the United States flying around the world with a man like Epstein. Regardless of the official reason, the optics, the moral compass of such a decision are deeply problematic, especially with hindsight. And here's where it gets even more complicated. While the documents confirm Clinton's extensive flights, testimony from both Ghislaine Maxwell and statements from Epstein himself, now also public, deny that Clinton ever visited Epstein's infamous island, Little St. James. That's a crucial point. For years, one of the most persistent rumors was that Clinton had been to the island. These documents, while damaging in other ways, actually seem to contradict that specific claim coming from the very people involved. It's a testament to the fact that in these deep dives, you have to follow the evidence where it leads, not where speculation wants it to go. It's about separating fact from fiction, even when both are sensational. The threads connecting Clinton to Epstein actually go back even further. The documents and previous reporting highlight that Epstein visited the White House at least 17 times between 1993 and 1995 during Clinton's presidency, meeting with a presidential aide. This wasn't just a post-presidential association. This was a relationship that had roots, albeit seemingly more superficial ones at the time, even during Clinton's highest office. It paints a picture of a gradual normalization of an association with an individual who would later be exposed as a monster. So let's bring it back to our initial question, the big one. Could these new documents end his career? And this is where we need to be very precise. Legally speaking, no. Based on these specific documents, Bill Clinton is not named as a defendant, a co-conspirator, or even accused of sexual misconduct by any victim related to Epstein's crimes. There is no new legal action initiated against him as a direct result of these unsealed papers. His career, in the sense of his time in elected office, is already over. But career isn't just about holding office. It's about legacy, about reputation, about the historical perception. And in that sense, yes, these documents could very well end or at least permanently tarnish a significant part of his public legacy. For a former president, judgment and character are paramount, and associating so closely with a figure like Epstein, even if cleared of direct criminal involvement, speaks volumes about judgment. It reignites the intense public scrutiny, the uncomfortable questions, and the moral outrage that has long been directed at anyone connected to Epstein. It confirms that the whispers weren't entirely baseless. It solidifies a connection that many find deeply disturbing and unforgivable. This isn't about political affiliation. It's about accountability, about light being shed on dark places, and about the moral implications of actions taken by powerful individuals even years ago. What these documents do is force a reevaluation, not just of Bill Clinton, but of the entire network of influence and power that Epstein cultivated. They remind us that the investigation into this heinous world is far from over, and the ripple effects continue to expose uncomfortable truths about those at the highest echelons of society. Now, before we wrap up, I want to briefly touch on something else that's incredibly important for context. While these specific files we've been discussing heavily feature Bill Clinton, it's crucial to remember that the broader set of Epstein documents and ongoing investigations also contains significant and equally uncomfortable details about other prominent figures, including Donald Trump. We're seeing mentions of him in different parts of the unsealed files, from flight logs to witness testimonies. This isn't a partisan issue. It's a story about power, wealth, and profound moral failures that crossed political lines. We'll be diving into the revelations concerning Donald Trump in a separate, dedicated video very soon, because that story deserves its own meticulous, factual breakdown as well. Make sure you're subscribed and have notifications turned on so you don't miss it. This story is evolving daily, sometimes hourly. What's clear is that the full scope of the Epstein scandal and the connections of the rich and powerful to his dark world is still being unraveled. These documents are just another step in that painful but necessary process. And our job here is to keep bringing you those facts, separating the bombshell from the speculation, and helping you understand what it all means. What do you think about these revelations? Does this change your perception of Bill Clinton? Does the denial of him visiting the island mitigate any of the other concerns for you? Let me know in the comments below. Your perspective is always valuable in these complex discussions. If you found this breakdown helpful and informative, please hit that like button, share this video with someone who needs to hear the facts, and of course, subscribe for more in-depth news analysis.